On October 16, 1859, abolitionist John Brown attacked the Federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Virginia militia quickly surrounded him and his force, and October 18th, U.S. Marines under the command of U.S. Army Colonel Robert E. Lee attacked Brown's forces and killed or captured most of them. Our correspondent on the ground submitted his report on the 19th of October, i.e. within 24 hours of the capture of John Brown and his compatriots.
Harper's Ferry insurrection. First dispatch. Harper's Ferry, October 10, 12 noon. There are no signs of any fugitives. The Chambersburg and Bedford Rangers are searching the mountains. Last evening detachments of Marines and volunteers searched Brown's house and found a large quantity of blankets, boots, shoes, clothes and tents, besides 1,500 pikes, with blades affixed to them. Also, a carpetbag containing sundry documents throwing considerable light upon the affair. Among these was a printed constitution and bylaws of organization, showing or indicating ramifications in various states of the Union. Also letters from different individuals at the North, one from Fred Douglass, containing $10, one from a lady, one from Gerrit Smith about money matters, and enclosing a checkered draft by him for $100, endorsed by the cashier of a New York bank, the name not recollected. All these documents are in the possession of Governor Wise, who has issued his proclamation offering $1,000 reward for the arrest of Cook. Large numbers of armed men are now scouring the mountains in pursuit of him. Cook took tea at his father-in-law's house, near the ferry, on Wednesday night, only a few hours previous to the arrival of the Marines. It was reported on Tuesday morning that he was seen in the mountain, only 3 miles from this place. 2 wagons, loaded with government arms, have been recovered. The insurrectionists did not rob the United States Pay Office, as at first reported. There was a large amount of money in it. Among the letters found in Brown's house is the following, which is given as a specimen. Dear Sir. Have been disappointed in not seeing you here to take charge of your freight. They have been here 2 weeks, and as I had superintended providing for them, it has imposed on me no small task. Besides, they are getting discontented, and if not taken in charge soon will go back to Missouri. They cannot be kept here much longer. If any of them go back, it will be a bad termination of your enterprise. It appears that the insurrectionists had a printed constitution and bylaws for a provisional government of the United States. They had also issued commissions from their war office near Harper's Ferry, of which the following is a specimen. Whereas, W.H. Lehman has been nominated captain of the army established under the provisional government, now therefore, in pursuit of authority vested in me by the said constitution, I do hereby appoint and commission the said W.H. Lehman, captain. Given at the office of the Secretary of War on the 15th day of October, 1859. John Brown, Commander-in-Chief. H. Keggs, Secretary of War. Signed by John Brown, Commander-in-Chief, H. Keggs, Secretary of War. Annexed is a copy of the anonymous letter addressed to Mr. Floyd, Secretary of War, at Washington. Cincinnati, August 20, 1859. Sir. I have recently received information of a movement of such great importance that I feel it a duty to impart it to you without delay. I have discovered the existence of a secret association, having for its object the liberation of the slaves at the South by a general insurrection. The leader of this movement is old John Brown, late of Kansas, who has been to Canada during the past winter, drilling Negroes, who are only waiting his word to start for the South and assist the slaves. They have one of their leaders, a white man, in an armory in Maryland, although where it is situated I am not enabled to learn. As soon as everything is ready, a number of free Negroes now and the northern states in Canada will come south in small attachments to their rendezvous, which is in the mountains of Virginia, and will pass down through Pennsylvania and Maryland and enter Virginia at Harper's Ferry. Brown left the North 3 or 4 weeks ago and will arm the Negroes and strike a blow in a few days, so that whatever is done to put a stop to their proceedings must be done at once. They have a large quantity of arms at their rendezvous and are probably distributing them already. I am not fully in their confidence, and this is all the information I can give you. I dare not sign my name to this, but trust you will not disregard the warning on this account. Pause. Among the arms found in Cook's house are 1,500 pikes, made in Connecticut, the handles 6 feet long, with a head and flat edge to blade 1 foot long. Also, 900 Sharps rifles, 1 box of revolvers, and a box of swords. Brown denies that any others except those at the ferry are connected with the enterprise. His wounded son says that other parties at the North are connected with it. Second dispatch. Harper's Ferry, October 19, 9:40 p.m. All the prisoners have been committed to the Charlestown jail to await the action of the grand jury. They will be indicted and tried in a few days. The arrangements about jurisdiction have been settled in this way. The local authorities will try the prisoners for murder, while the United States authorities will proceed against them on the charge of treason. Governor Wise stated to United States District Attorney Old that he had no objection to the general government proceeding against that portion of the prisoners left after the authorities of Virginia had done with them. Brown is much better and has made fuller statements. He says he rented the farm from Dr. Kennedy 6 months ago and that the rent is paid until next March. He never had over 22 men at the farm at any one time belonging to the organization, but had good reason to expect reinforcements from Maryland, Kentucky, North and South Carolina, and Canada. He had arms sufficient for 1,500 men, also 200 revolvers, 200 Sharps rifles, and 1,000 spears. These were left at the farm, where he had an abundant supply of powder and fixed ammunition. All these arms were brought at different times from Connecticut and other eastern points to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, and were directed to J. Smith and Anderson, Kennedy's farm, his assumed name. They were packed in double boxes, the better to deceive the parties who handled them on their way to the farm. Charleston Mercury, October 20, 1859.
So what are the implications of this? First, the Mercury started to build the case that this had not been an isolated plot. John Brown had had numerous supporters across the North. Brown himself denied this after the raid, but Brown's son confirmed it. Further, the amount of support was extensive. This number of weapons did not just happen, it required money. Second, Brown had drafted a new constitution for the United States. This meant that the Harper's Ferry raid was not merely a raid to rescue slaves and take them north. Brown was attempting to overthrow the government of the United States. Third, the United States Secretary of War, Floyd, had been given a remarkably precise but anonymous warning about the impending attack, but he had disregarded that attack because he believed it was too crazy an idea. What Southerners read about that was, in the future warnings should not be dismissed in such a cavalier fashion, because they might well be true. Harper's Ferry proved that. And finally, the size of the weapons recovered, 900 pikes and 200 revolvers and some Sharps rifles, indicated the grandeur of the objectives. These had been manufactured in the North and somehow had wound up in Brown's hands, probably because the donors knew what he was going to do with them.